Hey people, once again, I want to clear up musical expressions or terms that have the potential for misunderstandings. And that's very important today because of two reasons. One reason you will find out later, but the first reason is that the thing we want to talk about today has different names. One is anacrusis, one is lead-in, and one is upbeat. The word upbeat also can, of course, as you know, mean lively, but in this case it means a part of a musical song, a musical piece. The upbeat or anacrusis or lead-in is not yet part of the real song itself, but as the name lead-in implies, it is a short rhythm that leads us into the song. Usually it's just on the drums, a short fill, or just a very short melody or phrase that just gets us started. But this concept does not necessarily mean that it always leads us into a whole song, but more generally towards the next one, towards the start of the next measure. So it can also happen within a song, usually after a rest, after a pause, or after a very soft, a very low part. So it leads us back into the flow of the song. And usually it is very short, shorter than a whole bar, shorter than a whole measure. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a lead-in, it would be a real part of the structure of the song. Let me just give you a few examples. Whenever I hit the crash cymbal, you know that the song actually would start, and I will play different anacrusis of different length, but they are all pretty short. So the upbeat is very short. Sometimes, as you could hear, it's just one single snare drum hit, for example, but it has a very important function. It gets us started, it leads us into the song, and sometimes you even have the opportunity with a short anacrusis to prepare the audience a little bit for what's ahead, to prime the audience a little bit about the feeling of the song. So sometimes it's kind of a wind-up, tension and release when the song starts, just after a second or two. And a very important function of the lead-in is, a lot of the time it actually substitutes the count-in. You don't need a count-in if you have a clear lead-in. Everybody has the tempo of the song more or less in their head, they're tapping their foot maybe, and then the drummer is just playing a short lead-in and everyone knows where the song starts. In rock, usually it's just a boom-ga, just bass and snare, and everyone knows boom-ga 1. And now to the second reason it can create misunderstandings is it is not yet part of the song. So sometimes I have experienced this. There have been big arguments, fights about songs in a big band when you have an arrangement where for one player the lead-in is counted as bar 1 and for the others it's counted as bar 0, so it doesn't even start counting there. So beware, usually you have a double bar line between the upbeat and the actual start of the song, and you have to check carefully to clearly communicate with your bandmates. And this is what this series is all about. Clear communication. This is why I think it's important to learn about these terms, about this terminology of music, because we have all these expressions and they enable us to clearly communicate. So we are always talking about the same thing, because in music, apart from sheet music, you just can't point at things. You need words to express what you're talking about. If you're interested in more explanations of different and difficult musical concepts, check the link in the description for the whole playlist. Hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.